Every day I'm in greatness. It's back to the basics. I can't slow down. I can taste every day I'm in greatness. It's back to the basics. I can't slow down. I can taste it.
Welcome back to GameScoop. We've switched out an Anthony Gallegos for a Ryan Clements, who joins us. He was just recently at New York Comic Con.
Yep, in New York.
How is that?
Crazy.
It was awesome, Damon. Thank you for asking. So I talked to, this was my first Comic-Con, not just New York, but I've never been to San Diego Comic-Con either. So the first Comic-Con. And I talked to a bunch of people that have been there several times before. They all seemed to agree this was the biggest show.
I heard it was a madhouse. They shut down letting people in for a while. And
a madhouse is the perfect way to describe it.
Well,
the
I'm a
perfect way.
professional.
Yeah, you're a professional.
You're a professional describer.
sort of.
Looking at all the content that was on IGN coming out of Comic Con, it seemed to be the biggest show.
Yep, and I still have like 6 or 7 things I want to write out of it. It was actually really cool, and we got to see a lot of stuff. But it was shoulder to shoulder through the entire Javits Center. It was madness.
So what was the coolest cosplay you saw?
The coolest cosplay. Well, as you know, oh, and by the way, so remember you called me out on Twitter and you were like, no Korra cosplay?
Yeah.
I totally misspoke. They were all Korra. It was not Katara.
Oh.
So we saw a lot of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That happens to us all the time, right?
Legend
Like,
of
that's a
Korra.
Korra. You're like, that's a Korra, you
That's
idiot.
not a Katara. That's not a Katara. That's Korra.
Let's go buy some mangas.
Nangas. It's actually an American show, but yeah. Just letting you know.
There's the door.
What was awesome is that the convention just shows me that there are an incredibly diverse set of nerds in the world now. I love it. There's also a lot of beautiful nerds out there, which I was really encouraged by. Both men and women, like really good-looking people cosplaying and stuff, and I like that.
Greg and I usually go to Comic Con in San Diego.
Yeah.
SDCC.
Yeah.
As they say. I don't know, Greg. It looks like New York's running up on San Diego.
Yeah,
maybe.
New York, it's been slowly building. Yeah, all that East Coast stuff. PAX East, same thing.
PAX East is big, yeah.
We've been there since the genesis of PAX East. That one gets bigger every time.
I know.
Great system.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Sega Genesis of PAX East.
Yeah.
Took me a second.
Yeah, sorry.
Speaking of old systems, we're going to be seeing the Neo Geo
X
later today.
Yeah, we're seeing that today. That should be fun.
This is what everybody's been clamoring for.
Yes.
Because
I
the
know.
Neo Geo games have been on the PlayStation Network for a while now, and
Yeah,
they've just
but-
been selling like hotcakes. And
Well-
now they're like, well, it's time to put out a handheld for
You
it.
know what I've always wondered is
What?
how fast do hotcakes sell?
I don't know.
Why is
Pretty
that?
fast.
Like,
I mean, I think
look at that hotcake.
The moment it comes off the griddle or whatever you call it.
Well, I think it's you got to
right
imagine
on the plate.
it's got to be an old saying from when like imagine the first time someone made a hotcake, a
Yeah.
pancake.
They're like,
Somebody's
what?
head.
So let's go back first. You think there were hotcakes before pancakes?
Yes. Oh, I think it's just like I can see. I think they're the same thing. Aren't
So
they?
first there was
flapjack.
cake, and then someone made a
Yeah.
thin, hot version of that,
Yeah.
and they called it a hot cake,
Yeah.
and they sold really fast.
Yeah.
They couldn't keep them in stock.
Yeah, you're down there. You're down
was
there.
so-
You got the
they were
paper. You got the
so
paper
popular.
kid next to you.
Yep.
He's got a little Newsies hat, and then the guy had a grill there, and he's
Yeah.
like,
Extra, hotcake selling out.
he's reporting on the news from next to him. You figure all the businessmen, they're going to the stock exchange, and they've got that long ticker tape, and they're all excited.
Give me one of those newspapers. That's nothing
That's,
about
that's
hotcakes
the
in
ticker
here.
tape. That's what they throw down the
Yeah,
parade.
that's
they
what a
show.
ticker tape parade is.
Yeah.
They like it's stock
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah.
Well, because they
There's
print
the
them off
ticker
and then
machine. It
they're
goes.
useless.
I didn't even.
It's all
never-
really-
Ooh,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
been a run on
Oh.
hotcakes.
Oh my God, the hotcake stock is up.
You know what? They cut that up and then they throw it out for parades.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, no one recycled back then. It was just trash paper everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
That was
video
recycling.
games are crazy.
Reuse.
That was recycling.
Okay.
I lost my train of Neo Geo.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Do you have? We'll see the
Comic-Con,
Neo
yeah,
Geo
that's
later.
better.
We'll do a video on that. You can see that.
I want to know a little more about Comic-Con.
Okay.
So I asked
What
you.
would you? Yeah. What would you
How,
like
how's
to
the
hear
meet and
about?
greet?
Meet and greet went really well. We actually had like a super big turnout, and then I had an awesome conversation with us. So I was waiting at the bar to get myself a beverage, and a girl was next to me, and I was, yeah, exactly. No, it was we were talking, and then I was like, okay, well, you know what? Thank you so much for coming. And I was about to leave, and she's like, oh, thank you for coming. And then I was
She was
like,
a waitress, wasn't she?
No, it was
She worked for IGN.
she just didn't realize that I was one of the hosts. So then I was like, well, I'm saying this because I am one of the IGN people, so I'm thanking you for coming. And she felt really embarrassed, and she was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize. My friends told me about this party, and I'm just here to hang out and chat. So it was a nice little chat. Yeah.
Sounds like an awkward ending.
Yeah.
No, it was
that
funny.
story was like.
Well, I mean, what did you think the ending was gonna be?
And then
Maybe
we
like-
Bang
No,
it
of
out.
course not.
Threw away my relationship.
7 years, one Comic-Con.
Don't tell her.
So she'll never know.
Yeah.
My last Comic-Con question
Yes.
was about the actual games themselves. So what's the coolest thing you saw there?
Good question.
And was there a lot of new content? Usually Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con is older builds of stuff that we've seen, but it's a public show, so the public gets to play stuff.
It was, it wasn't exactly the most groundbreaking in terms of new content that you got. But we saw, I think there was mostly updates. There was some stuff that I can't discuss yet that was shown, which is very exciting.
You can tell us.
But I did, well, I don't know.
Them?
He doesn't trust you.
They'll never know.
Mute your computers for a second.
Okay. It was cool.
The podcast listeners hate us.
So I saw, I know that we've talked about DMC in the past, and it was still an old build. I still have confidence in that game. I think that's going to be really great, the Devil May Cry remake. I also, Colin Moriarty and I saw Ni no Kuni. We're also still very confident about that and excited about that. And
did you see Remember Me? I read Colin's preview for Remember Me and I was very excited.
I was at the World of Capcom panel where they discussed Remember Me, but I did not get to play it or see it live. Okay. Did he get to play it? I didn't.
I'm not sure if it was a hands-on or hands-off.
TGS. It's looking really cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of sad because the World of Capcom panel got a lot of mixed reactions from. So it was packed. It was packed, but when, for example, when DMC came on, and I'm still venting about this. I talked to Colin about this as well. When DMC came on, some people were booing. Like people were making fart noises, super mature comedy.
Were they showing a trailer for it?
Yeah, they were showing a trailer and they were like, boo. And then I thought to myself, now you might not be a fan of DMC, but then you just stay quiet.
Yeah,
just don't applaud.
Sort it out.
Don't applaud if you don't like it. But these are Capcom people that are giving you their time.
Yeah.
They're presenting in front of this huge audience. This is very stressful. You boo them for them taking the time out of their schedules to come. And
why are you there?
I don't know about it. Yeah, exactly.
Why are you at this panel? You just showed up to boo them? So you're just
booing.
a troll in real life?
No, I mean,
Words.
No, I think they came to hear the Street Fighter Cross Tekken, all that stuff, that news, and then also they were, people were freaking out about Darkstalkers.
Oh, that's Darkstalkers, yeah.
Which I think a lot of people don't realize is that yes, they announced Darkstalkers Resurrection, Capcom did, which is a collection of the second and third game in the series, but. And people are like, that's what the big thing was. Oh, it's just a rehash. But what people need to remember is that Ono-san, one of the main producers over there on their fighting game franchises, said that this is the first step for them to resurrect the Darkstalkers series.
Darkstalkers Resurrection.
Correct.
Okay.
So and he was saying how this is just the first step, and that the journey is long. Winter is coming, and we can expect to see a lot more of Darkstalkers in the future.
So right now it's like a zombie. It was in the ground.
Right.
And
now the zombies emerged, and then eventually
they'll bring it back to life.
Yeah, they'll bring it back to life.
I don't. That analogy's going
No,
nowhere.
if the zombie's already up, then it would be back.
I think he means convert zombie,
It'll
cure it.
It'll be a human.
And then it's a
It'll
human.
be like the Frankenstein monster that they'll
like a
make
human zombie.
Human. Whatever.
Anyway.
Let's just get.
It's
past
more
it.
like
Let's just-
Jesus. It's come back to life, but it hasn't ascended yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
We wanted to talk a little bit about Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
I think all of us
have
been playing Borderlands 2. I think we all like it.
Yeah.
A lot.
Can all agree on that at least?
I beat it over the weekend.
You beat it?
Yep.
Are you going to play the DLC?
Yep. I bought the season pass. I'm all in.
Yeah.
Gearbox did me right, so I'm gonna continue to do them right.
And you
we'll
play-
just be doing each other left and right.
You play it cooperatively.
I did, yeah. It was one of the things I played Borderlands 1, and the problem with Borderlands 1 was I got on the trip way too late. It was a game of the year time, so I picked it up in December to play it so I could be knowledgeable when we voted and talked about it. So everybody else was already done playing it, so I put it in, and nobody else was playing it. I played for a few hours, enjoyed myself, but eventually got bored. Kind of ran my course of just running around all by myself in silence.
Me too.
So,
You mute it. You're just sitting by yourself.
Even
muted.
when you're running from mission to mission or whatever, there's no, it's not like Claptrap's always talking to you or whatever.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
Borderlands 2 came out and I was excited for it, I made a point to make sure that I'd always play with people. So there was, maybe, I would say there's combined maybe 2 hours I played by myself because it seemed like somebody, I have a robust PSN friends list and people were always playing and ready to jump in and help me out or do whatever.
So I play by myself, and I love it.
Good.
I don't have anything negative to say about playing cooperatively because I haven't tried it yet. But at least just I'm playing it by myself is enough for me. It's enough for me to love the game. But Justin was going to talk some smack on single player.
No, that's not true. I'm the same as Greg. I played Borderlands 1 and didn't get that far into it because I only played it by myself. And I logged online and played with some random people on Xbox, and that wasn't really...
You can't play randoms.
Yeah, and co-op games like that, like I have friends. We're all friends, right?
Yeah.
We're
bros.
We're bros. So we've been known to bro down, but it's hard, even when you have like a robust group of friends, it's hard to be like, oh, I'm going to be on it this time, oh, I can't be on it that time, and you want to do it like every night, but then I can't do it on Wednesdays because I got this, and like that's even hard when you do have a big group of friends, and if you don't have a big group of friends and you pick up a game like Borderlands, you are not going to get like the same experience as somebody else.
Sure.
Like you really need like a group of people that like, this is our Borderlands time for like a while, and we're going to go through it. And I played it, and I don't have that, so... I don't know.
I mean, what worked for me, having the friends list that I have made up of, real life friends and then Podcast Beyond listeners and just IGN fans in general, is that it was one of those things where I think Borderlands is really good at just being able to cycle people in and out. You know what I mean? I'd come on and I'd play for 15 minutes and I'd jump into somebody else's game and earn a little XP and then go back to my own thing or do my, start my own. Then they'd jump and then I'd be like, oh, sorry guys, I gotta walk Portillo. I'd quit out, they'd keep playing, I'd come back. It seemed like there was always some way to pass that baton and keep it going, get in there and chip away a little bit at it.
How does Borderlands handle, say you're going through the campaign by yourself, you jump into someone else's game who's either farther or less far than you, and then you go back to yours. Like, is that even possible?
Yeah,
or does it kind of reset your...
No, what happens is, it happened to me where, I jumped ahead and jumped into like Mike Mitchell's game for a while, and he was still doing story quests ahead of me. And so I helped out and beat his, and then I went back and I played the story quest up to that point. But once I got to quests that I'd already done with other people, it says, "Oh, hey, you've already done these. Do you want to skip them?"
Yeah, it
and
gives you the
just
choice.
And you can jump. Yeah, you just.
And that's a
jump
new
through.
thing for the sequel, I think. I don't remember exactly what the original did, but I remember there was some weirdness about what it did with your progress when you were in co-op versus not in co-op that I was not happy about. I feel like that's the best way to handle it.
Sure. Yeah.
Because there's some people that are like, I've done this, I want to skip it. And there's other people that are like, no, if I did it with somebody else, that doesn't mean that I don't want to see it again. So just, give people the option real quick. That's
Agreed.
a totally reasonable way to do things.
Damon, I did want to chime in. I'm also playing it mostly solo, and I've only gotten like someone to jump into my game a few times. But I will say that a few nights ago I was playing and got to the point for the first time in maybe 20 hours where I could not beat this quest by myself. Like, and I was well enough leveled, actually a couple levels over the recommended level cap or the recommended level requirement. I had plenty of great weapons, well stocked with ammo. Yeah, I was the Gunzerker. So I actually had to like go on Twitter and I was like, anybody around on the PC want to jump into this game?
A lot of people jumped in, right?
Yeah, I had like 2 volunteers and I only needed 1 person to help me get through that quest. But that's
once
kind
you
of
had to help, you had
it was a breeze, but also it's because he was 15 levels higher than me. So he came in and like put a turret down and it was like just everything dead.
See you, powerhouse. So now, how do you like being Gunzerker? Because you made it on Twitter. You asked, "What's the least popular character?" And everybody's like, "Gunzerker." And you're like, "I'll do that."
I'll do it.
Why did you decide to do that anyway?
So I did. So I like to have. This is part of my kind of oddities and quirks as being a gamer. I like to have an experience that's at least somewhat unique to myself. So that if I'm playing the Siren and everyone on the planet is playing Siren, I suddenly feel like I'm just doing what everybody else is doing. I want to break the system, man. That's what I say to myself in my head with that voice.
Hack the world.
So I actually like to play as the underdog characters. I like to usually try and select the class that not a lot of people are. So I'm not only getting a unique experience, but I'm also kind of feeling out something that's not very popular. Not a lot of people have tried.
Yeah, I do that too.
So I went with the Gunzerker, and by the way, the Gunzerker is completely antithetical to like my personality, my play style. I mean, I am any of the other 3 people. The one person I am least like is the Gunzerker.
That can be kind of fun too, though.
Yeah, it's fun, except that it wasn't.
So you don't like the Gunzerker?
I have very strong mixed feelings.
What level
about
are you at now?
The Gunzerker. I think I'm 22 or 23.
Okay.
Will you continue, or you just start a new character?
Yes, I'm going to continue because at this point I want to clear the story. I generally like to play story by myself first, so that like people aren't like skipping the cutscenes and like just ruin,
it can be very
wreck and
stressful
shop.
In games that are story based, and not that Borderlands 2 is this incredible story, but there are cutscenes and things you want to experience. I get stressed out playing a co-op game when there's story elements like that, and I'm worried that other people might have already seen it and they want to skip it. I'm thinking more about like MMOs, like in dungeons and stuff.
Exactly.
Like, I feel rushed. I don't like feeling rushed with other people. I don't want to feel like I'm wasting their time. And
Yeah, you gotta take
I think
your time.
everybody's, at least in my experience, with my group of friends, is on the same page with that. A lot of people do come back. I played over the weekend to beat it, and I was having level 44s join my game or whatever and help me out level 50 and stuff. And it was one of those things where, they just go into their menus and fool with their things and swap around equipment and stuff. And they're quiet too.
While you're watching cutscenes.
And
stuff.
Borderlands isn't really a cutscene-driven game. It's more like that Roland's talking or whatever while we're all running around doing our thing.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean it's super well designed in that regard. I just I feel dedicated. I'm not going to stop at level 22, and when I'm so far into the story already, I'll just power through.
Yeah.
And probably start maybe a Siren or a Mechromancer. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm excited about that Mechromancer.
Yeah.
Easily
It's cool.
Easily one of the best games of the year.
Yep.
I love it. I've got an email here from a woman named Ariel Fortune Dalton.
wow, why do our readers or viewers have the best names?
They really
It's
do.
kind of a really cool name.
Yeah.
She says, my name is Ariel Fortune Dalton. And I'm writing you because my husband, Jamie Dalton, is a huge fan of you guys. Listened to all of your podcasts since day one. He is the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Oh.
And on November 6th of this year, we are celebrating our 1-year wedding anniversary.
Nice.
I know it would mean the world to him and me if you could surprise him with a shout out on a podcast before or on the date. I think he'll even be amazed I figured out how to do this considering my entire knowledge of the video game world comes from him. I work for the Dannon Company, so I will send you guys a case of yogurt.
Yay!
I do like yogurt.
Yogurt or no yogurt. Ariel, and Jamie.
No, we want the yogurt.
Yeah.
We're very happy to wish you both a very happy first-year wedding anniversary.
It's actually very thoughtful.
Yeah, it's great.
Like
It's a good woman you've got there, Jamie. You take good care.
Congratulations, guys.
Hold on to that one.
Yeah.
And Greg, what's our address in case we're going to be getting some yogurt?
Oh, it's easy. You can reach IGN at IGN 625 2nd Street, San Francisco, California, 94107. You can put floor 3 on there, but they'll know where to go.
Third
That's
floor.
true.
Like, no one's that stupid.
What kind of yogurt do we like?
Made it here. It's I don't know where to put it. I'm the mailman. I come here every day. I don't know what IGN
All
is.
this yogurt.
Throw it in the street.
Toss it in the street.